Manitoba has the fourth largest new migrant population and will continue to lean on the success of its newcomers. But first, it must invest in their future. Joining me today are Roselyn Advincula, Director of Settlement Services at the Immigrant Centre Manitoba and a community advocate and volunteer, and Gennica Luce, client, intern, and temporary front desk staff of Immigrant Centre Manitoba. Hello, Roselyn. Hi, kamusta kayo?
Mabuti po. Thank you for inviting us here.
Tell us about the Immigrant Centre Manitoba. What is it about?
Yes, Immigrant Centre Manitoba, we are a nonprofit organization and we are funded by IRCC, the province, United Way, and RBC so that we can help newcomers adapt into their new home and settle in here. Also, our vision is changing lives for the better, one newcomer at a time. So we have settlement facilitators and other services that make sure that we provide personalized services for newcomers so that they can achieve their full potential in their new home.
Oh, personalized services. So each family has like a social worker that look into, or settlement facilitator that looks into their situation. Kasi each family has a different situation, even though they came from the same country, right?
Yes. So ang kagandahan po, the settlement facilitators assesses their needs individually or family, and then from there, the settlement plan is being tailored to their needs. We provide them with information, and then they are also being referred to the different services within the Immigrant Center or also with our partners in the community.
Wow, that is a big undertaking, right? Because so you're starting your whole life here. What is, Gennica, your experience when you landed here in Manitoba? Was it challenging to find yung mga services that will help you? Or do you know already that there are services like this that's available for you?
Well, nung dumating po kasi ako, I already have a family here. So, thankfully, it wasn't difficult for me to settle. Like, they already know where to point, or kung alam na nila kung ano yung mga dapat kong asikasuhin when I landed here. So, for me, settling is, yung mahirap lang po talaga is mag-adapt to the weather, to the practices, yung cultural differences ng Canada and Philippines. But in general, it was less difficult for me to adapt because my family is already here in Winnipeg.
Oh, big factor talaga
Big factor,
ang having
yes
a family. And yung services of Immigrant Centre Manitoba, is it available to everyone?
Yes, the good thing about Immigrant Center, because we have diverse funding, so we can cater to all newcomers, like even if you're a permanent resident, Canadian citizen or the naturalized Canadian citizen, international students, work permit, visitor visa, we're able to help you kung kailangan niyo po ng tulong as newcomer. So everybody's welcome.
Yeah, Gennica, how did you find out about Immigrant Centre Manitoba?
Kasi international student po ako, so nung bago ko tapusin yung program ko in Red River College, Red River College provides you a list of companies or yung mga organizations na nangangailangan or accepts practicum. So, Immigrant Center was there on the list, and to be honest, I didn't know about Immigrant Center. Yeah. So when I knew about it, I tried to research, and I thought it was immigration, which is always the case.
Yeah.
So they always mistaken it with Immigration Center. But yeah, so nakita ko po yun, and then I researched about it. I worked under the executive assistant. Yun, nalaman ko lang about through Red River College. And then through Immigrant Center, nalaman ko na meron palang mga organizations na accessible to international students or newcomer like me.
Yeah, that goes to my second question. Like, do you know, Roselyn, how many, yung percentage ng dami ng dumadating landed immigrant, whether it's student visa or PR, are aware that there are services like this available for them?
Yes, that's a good question po. Because a study ng IRCC, in terms of usage of services, there's around 30 to 40% ng mga dumarating ang nakakapag-avail of services. That's why they created a zone system so that the other percentage can get to know about the different services that is being offered for newcomers po. We have the zone system, the Zonal Outreach Zonal Outreach for Newcomer Engagement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, kasi, I don't know, so what is the common challenges ba for new immigrants to access these services? Do you find that there are common denominator in terms of is it transportation was a challenge? Was communication a challenge? What was the common challenge for them to access the services?
I think the common challenge is the information that there are certain agencies or organizations that can provide them services, like for newcomers. Because sometimes when you come here, you think that you'll start like looking for a job right away, that you have family most of the time, and sometimes you don't know that the other services exist. So that information and awareness is very much the primary, I think, barrier. But then after that, transportation can be a barrier, but I think the new system that has been created for the settlement sector, that there are settlement services that are provided even in your area of residence or work. For example, Immigrant Centre right now is primarily for the downtown area, but also if newcomers wants to access from other area, they can. But if they live in the Seven Oaks area, there's settlement services there, River Eastern Scona South, Elmwood. So that's the good thing about the immigration system or the settlement services here.
So how
in
many
Winnipeg.
Immigrant Centre Manitoba, how many, to call this, offices? Or is there around Winnipeg?
There's one Immigrant Centre Manitoba, which is in downtown, but there's also similar services that what we call Zone, who also offer services for newcomers. So there's 7 zones in Winnipeg that are catering services for the newcomers.
I heard there's also outside Winnipeg?
Yes, there's also rural areas that are also offering services for our newcomers there, because there's also a need, and it's good for those to exist because they won't need to travel that far just to avail of a service for a newcomer po.
So Gennica, in your case, how does Immigrant Centre Manitoba help you adapt or even acquire your profession in the Philippines? Or is that a goal that you're trying to reach right now?
Yes, actually, since I'm a temporary front desk support sa Immigrant Center, having to work there gives me a lot of network. That gives me access to a lot of organizations, companies na hindi ko talaga alam before, since I'm an international student and mainly nag-aral ako. So, for example, in the Immigrant Center, we have employment services.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I myself could take advantage of, dahil in the future, syempre, I need like a job, like a stable job, or merong mga jobs na available for kung ano yung talagang ginagawa ko sa Pilipinas, not just what's just available.
Yeah. So did you came here with your family, single?
I am a single applicant,
Okay.
yes.
So with families, like, is it just the parents, or there's also services that you offered for the children or the family as a whole?
Yes, our services are for family. So primarily for 18 years old and up. However, if there's a need for sa mga bata po na mai-refer, for example, may mga 6 years old to 18 years old na kailangan pumasok sa school system, so we refer them sa school division. There's also need center that is catering for the youth. If there's many other needs, we make sure that we refer them. But we take care of them as a family, as a whole unit, yes.
Yeah, so must be a big work for you as a director for settlement. But settlement is only just a part of what Immigrant Centre Manitoba offers.
Yes.
So there are several. So can you explain further yung iba?
For sure, yes. So for Immigrant Centre, and maybe Gennica can help me sa mga different services namin. So pagpasok mo sa Immigrant Centre, we have the front desk, and the front desk will register you and will see what you need. And from there, you will be referred sa settlement services namin. For our settlement facilitators, the settlement facilitators will again sit down and assess the needs of the client, and based on those needs, they can provide information. Either it's about the weather, the hospital, Manitoba health card, schooling, many information. Kasi pagdating natin as newcomers, ang dami lahat, hindi natin alam kung saan tayo magsisimula. So it's always good to have somebody that is knowledgeable in the system that can guide us and take us in that journey. And then kapag nakita ng facilitators namin nga na may need to refer them to other services, they are being referred. So internally muna, within the Immigrant Center, we have employment services, another big department sa amin. So for those newcomers na may CLB level 4 and below yun ini-specialize namin, and then they can have employment facilitators, they can have job search workshop, Canadian workplace culture workshop, their resumes are being reviewed and tinutulungan sila. And also language bank, another very important na service within the Immigrant Center. So we also do the notary there, and translation and interpretation. And maybe Gennica can speak about the other services.
Yeah, we have also yung mga classes that we offer in partnership with employment services. We also have webinars. Classes mainly is for citizenship test, class 5 knowledge test, computer test, cooking classes, English Access Center for conversation classes.
Yeah.
Those are the one of the busiest din na department. So they pull clients and then they do English conversation online
yeah,
or
I like that,
in
the English
person.
conversation. Kasi I think that's very important when you're applying for a job. Sometimes siyempre, second language naman natin na English, but when you're already facing someone, di ba, your employer na who grew up here, very fluent, para kang nasa stutter ka na, tapos nawawala na yung kasi masyadong formal yung mo versus dito na very casual.
Exactly.
So I think the practice of that exchanging, yung communicating on a real time ba, na talagang kung ano yung talagang mga term na ginagamit dito is you get used to it, is very important. And even they call this yung mga ethics like handshakes, not saying ma'am. We're so used to that.
I
Ma'am
know. That's why it's so
sir.
hard for me to call Roselyn sa office. Because most of the time, pag for example, our CEO, Jorge,
Yeah.
I just call him Jorge.
Yeah.
Pero si Miss Roselyn, tawag ko sa kanya Miss Roselyn. Kasi I feel like I'm disrespecting her.
Yeah, kasi sa atin napakadaming term, di ba, ate, even sa subordinates, iba-iba. Form of respect ba? Pero dito, yeah, it's not. Pero yun nga, we're so used to that. Pero yung iba kasi, especially non-Filipinos, they feel offended when you say sir or ma'am to them. No, so it's really important to learn those basic skills. Very basics, pero it's very important, right?
Very true. And in terms of services we have the nutrition services too. So we have cooking classes and the nutrition program and volunteer services. So if there's anyone out there who wants to volunteer, they can also volunteer at Immigrant Centre.
Yeah, for anything na gusto nila, right? It's open.
Yes, like for example, if they want to facilitate the conversation circle or teach a citizenship class or to help out in our cooking class or filing in the front desk. So we're very open for volunteering too.
Wow, it's awesome. Parang it's so much work. I could just imagine.
But it's never a dull time, lalo na sa front desk.
Yeah.
Like we encounter a lot of concerns that you could never imagine.
So with the men, what do you think is the most challenging part of your job? Kay ano muna, anong pinaka-challenging for you, like being the front desk and being the first in line? Frontliner short eh.
For me, siguro yung language. Kasi, I can speak English, pero not a lot of clients can converse the same way. Since hindi naman nila yung second language, or for example, there's a lot of people na they don't even know what they need. Kahit alam nila mag-English, they're confused with what exactly do they need. So they tell you a little backstory, kung ano talaga yun. So you kind of have to assess kung ano talagang kailangan nila. So para ma-route mo sila sa tamang department, sa tamang organization. And our settlement facilitators are always there to help para pag hindi ko talaga alam, I call someone, like, can you help me? Because I don't know. This is the first time that I encountered. Ganon. Second is, siguro yung technical stuff of knowing. Because as a front desk, I can't give advice, even if it's general information. So, yun lang siguro. It's not knowing what to advise and then the language barrier.
That's good. At least medyo, but those are things that can get used to as experience, diba?
Yeah, because they're newcomers and they're scared. They don't know where to go. Sometimes they've been given the runaround. You go to this office, pupunta ka dito, tapos hindi pala yun yung tamang information. So you have to, kaya minsan nainis na rin sila na paulit-ulit yung tanong ko. But it's really part of the triage. Triage. Para alam mo kung saan na sila pupunta kasi nga they've been giving the runaround. So,
I understand. And with you, Roselyn, how difficult naman it is to be the director of the settlement services?
Yes, I think in general the changes na nangyayari within the settlement and immigration landscape, because you have to keep up with it. Like for us within the settlement sector or our department, every day we have to check the new changes within IRCC with the information that we need to give to the clients, because those changes impacts clients and also the types of services that we need to provide to them. So kami, dapat always kaming updated, always kaming nagre-research talaga. Kasi kaming puntahan ng mga clients, so dapat alam namin yung mga information. And if hindi namin alam, kinakailangan namin yung networks of other service providers to ask questions to. So I think which is good then within the settlement sector because we're all connected, we work together, there's partnership. So if I don't know or if we don't have the service, you can call one agency, hello, we need help in this, can you please support? So that's, I think, challenge, but also there's a good side of it too. Always keeping up with the needs of the clients too. And sometimes too, the challenges, there's so much needs. Araw-araw, there's so many clients, but we only have limited staff, limited resources. But we try our best to provide our best for the clients too. Kahit yung mga staff namin, alam ko, pagod na sila, that so many clients na yung nakikita nila, pero kahit sa huli, like last day, like uwian, you can still see the smile in their faces. They're still happy. And there's that love and care for the client, which I think makes Immigrant Center distinct talaga. Kasi yung puso andoon.
So do you see like how the advantage of being a Filipina, being in this kind of work? Like, do you see that was an advantage? O yung mga natutunan ko sa Philippines, so nagamit ko rin pala dito. Like, was that, do you think, and what other characteristic and training that you think you got from the Philippines? Are you able to use in your job as a front desk ngayon sa Immigrant Centre Manitoba or in your future plans pa?
Siguro po yung pagiging masayahin lang talaga. No, because I wanna make things light sa office. So, gusto ko lang lagi, hi, kamusta? And I try to, since we have a lot of variations language na speak in the office, I try to learn kung ano yung mga good morning nila, kung ano yung kamusta nila. It make things work lighter. And I think that's the only thing na masaya pag nagtatrabaho ka. And you all, as a newcomer, nakaka-relate ka sa mga newcomers na ina-assist mo. So you kind of empathize ka sa kanila. So you kind of mas masarap mag-serve dahil meron po ko do you remember meron kaming one client na homeless siya, not homeless but he's trying to check for shelter na makes you realize how great, parang dapat maging grateful ka kasi first you don't have that kind of problem, and then second you are in an organization that helps those kind of people na may ganong situation. And Miss Roselyn was para talagang dami niyang mga organizations na alam niya talaga na, okay, call this organization, this is where you go, blah, blah, blah. And yun, one of the things yun talaga is to empathize and be just happy with what you're doing.
With Roselyn, no? To think, like, help you, I think, kita ko na din. Alam ko na din. Like, we're all like cheering each other here. Pero, I agree with you. But other than being, we're cheerful, masayahin, like what are you thinking not help you in your position right now?
I think resilience, because yung nabanggit ko nga, change happen all the time. And I think it's not always good, it's not always happy moment. But if we are resilient, we are making sure na in hard times, you pause, you breathe, and then you bounce back, and then you go again. And I think that's one of the characteristics of a Filipino, right? And then also the commitment and the hard work and hard work. That because when we commit to something, we really make sure that we do our best in it, and we put our heart into it. And when our heart is in it, we do the best naturally in there. So I think those are the advantages that we have from our culture, and I think from the training that we've had, and in our characteristics too.
So with I know thousands that you'd helped at Immigrant Centre Manitoba, was there like a disappointing moment na parang, I could have done better, parang sana itong taong to, I could have served him better, or parang I could have pointed the right, and then they end up not being in a good position. Was there ever an experience for you, Roselyn?
I think for me, hindi naman siya yung disappointing because we haven't provided what he needed. Sometimes you just get disappointed or maybe frustrated within the system because of the limited resources. But I think the best thing or the good thing about us that even if we know there's limited resources, we won't stop until we really find an answer or a referral or a solution for this person, because I think for me, personally, I won't be able to sleep if I go home and didn't help somebody. Yeah, so I think that's the...
Oo, talagang Pinay na Pinay talaga. Andun din yung motherly love mo
Yes.
kasi with you're a parent, right?
That's true.
I think nape-parent mo na rin yung mga client mo. I think when you become a mother, it doesn't stop with your kids, right? It parang connects to everyone, especially with your job.
That's
So
true.
parang you're partly responsible for them.
That's
Do you
true.
feel that kind of burden, or I don't know if it's a burden or privilege, I'd say.
Yeah, privilege too. And sometimes too, like yung nabanggit nga na minsan may mga bagay na we cannot control, and sometimes we cannot really have the services that they needed. I remember there's this one case na merong isang client, like her emotion is really bursting out. She's so mad, she's crying. And then I just asked her, can I hug you? And then she said yes. And then I hugged her in my office. And then she just cried, and sit down. And after she was able to express what she needed, we were able to explore and work through. And then she left happy, which I think sometimes there's no answers. You just need that motherly love, maybe that person to person, that human connection. So I
Yeah,
don't
I like
forget her.
what you said. Sometimes you're not really just looking for answers. You're just looking for that connection. You're just looking for someone to listen to you. You're just looking for someone who would not necessarily even understand you, but just listen to what you say and don't blame you. Kasi minsan, kasalanan mo yan. You end up like that, di ba? It's your fault, di ka nakinig eh. So, but then, again, that doesn't help. You just want to be heard, right? And I think more than the services economic benefits of having Immigrant Centre Manitoba, there's psychological, and is that also part of the services?
The services. The good thing is because Immigrant Center, we don't have the psychological support within. However, we are training our staff to be trauma informed so that when they can see, when they assess that there's a need for that, they would know where to refer. So good thing we have partnership with Norwest, so Immigrant Women's Counseling Services. If there's any need for counseling, we refer to them. Aurora Family Therapy Center is another place that we refer clients for therapy. Mount Carmel Clinic. So it's not offered within the Immigrant Center. However, we have our referral system. And also, there's one agency that comes there every Monday morning, 9 to 12, so that when there's client that needs to be referred and doesn't want to travel, they can access the service within the Immigrant Center.
Wow, talagang, I mean, there's nothing, with the services, parang it's impossible not to succeed, no? Kaya lang, I'm still wondering why not many people knows about the services. Do you think there is a lack of information, or there is a lack in the system? Because this is really basic. Like once you land here, of course you need this information. Pero only 40%.
Yes.
Right. What could have you think could have done better pa? Like anything that could have helped?
Yeah, siguro maybe on our part as agencies, we need to go out more, reach out more. Naisip ko rin nung bagong dating ako, like 15 years ago, in the beginning, alam ko yung mga services kasi umattend ako ng orientation bago umalis sa atin, and I'm very keen on those services. Pero yung halimbawa na dumating ka rito, tapos yung mga, for example, yung relatives mo, matagal na rin sila dito before pa ma-offer yung mga services, siguro hindi nila alam. So kaya maganda na talagang magkaroon ng more outreach, na pumunta talaga sa different ethno-cultural community. That's why it's good to have this kind of platform para bawat household malaman nila na Immigrant Center exists, or even not Immigrant Center, but there's settlement services that exist in Winnipeg na pwede kayong pumunta, pwede kayong matulungan para makapag-adjust kayo, makapag-settle kayo sa new home. Tapos siguro more on advertising pa, maybe more information pa sa mga websites ng IRCC, the province. Talagang community work talaga siya na dapat lahat i-promote.
Well, it benefits everyone, right? Like, maganda yung sinabi na even the families here nila na been here for a long time, that contributes Kasi minsan, when I came here, hindi mo na kailangan yan. Just go there, go straight, walk there. So, parang, educating both the immigrant and the relatives that they have here. And one other question here. So, as the receiving end of the services, is there anything like, as a receiving end, anything you want to improve, or sana pala ito yung una kong ginawa? Like, was there, when you arrived and when you got into the center, was there any thought na ito meron naman pala nito, I should have done this first?
Right. Well, dahil insider na rin po kasi ako, there's not much things na talagang, ay, dapat pala inuna ko to. But, just like uy, meron pala mga ganong services.
Ganun na.
Mga ganon parang,
Then
though we could have shared it to madami ding mga international students na Pilipino eh. So, meron palang ganon doon. So, yung mga ganon sana na na-share ko before na if I knew Immigrant Center noon, yung employment services, so that could have helped me talaga na, kasi nung dumating ako, I was job hunting, part-time, kasi I'm an international student initially. So, yung mga ganong services lang sana na simple services like Manitoba Health Language Bank, it could have been easy for me to access it kasi letter lang naman pala yung kailangan. Yung mga ganon.
Kasi parang, kala natin parang Pilipinas, you have to be physically go there.
That's true.
Diba? Or you have to physically call the people, and as simple lang pala as sending an email is already sufficient.
It's very easy to access. Email ka lang, tawag ka lang sa front desk, bibigyan na nila lahat ng mga information na pwede mong... Because I receive a lot of calls. What services do you offer? What kind of services do you offer for international students, refugees, or mga ganyan-ganyan? So I try to give them like the general information. Settlement services, language bank, blah, blah, blah.
So, in terms of retention, kasi you guide them from the beginning, do you see na along the way there is a decline, or was there a point in your services na parang nagsawa na sila, I give up, I couldn't get my job that I want, I'll just go, I'll just do what I want, I'll just siguro mag-start na lang ako, mag-ibang job na lang ako, because I think what we want to encourage for them to pursue sana yung profession nila, and most of them that's what they want, diba? Pero how was the retention in terms of your services with yung goal nyo? Let's say you set a goal for a specific case, right? And then hoping that goal will come to reality. So, was there, malaki ba yung chances?
Malaki naman ang chances. Unfortunately, sa Immigrant Center, yung retention from like being a newcomer until after their citizenship, nag-access talaga sila ng services within the Immigrant Center na hindi sila nakakalimot. Babalik at babalik sila na kapag there's certain point of their life na kailangan nila ng something related with the Immigrant Center agad yung first point of contact, babalik at babalik sila. So from, yun nga, bagong dating application of my health card, school, and then yung job search nila, volunteering, and then citizenship application. Kapag naging citizen na sila, invited nila for their own
parang
taking.
feeling ko.
Yeah, because we sometimes assist clients na, so we try to, sometimes they don't even know na client na sila. They forget na, I think I've been here before, or something like that. So we try to look them up. Nakalagay dun sa status nila, student pa sila. Which was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Are you still a student now? No, I'm a Canadian citizen. So we try to like update. Nakakatuwa na talagang bumabalik sila. And they bring newcomers.
Yeah.
Family
Kasi it's like,
nila.
ang alam ko with you do this outreach and you have like gatherings, like the newcomers gathering in the summer.
Yes.
And you have one in yung Christmas.
Yes.
Like, tell us about it.
Yes, so yan, ang partnership siya ng Aurora Family Therapy Center, ng Philippine Heritage, and ng Immigrant Center. So, we want to make sure na we have that sense of belonging and community feel para sa ating mga newcomers. Kasi pag dumating tayo sa bagong bansa, sa bagong lugar, iniisip natin yung pakiramdam na part tayo ng isang community kasi galing tayo sa isang community. So, providing those experiences and events sa kanila, napakalaking bagay sa kanila. So, for example, yung ginawa namin Christmas party na yun or holiday gathering, that's the biggest again after the pandemic. So, ang kasaya ng mga tao na sabi nila, thank you, na binigyan nyo kami ng opportunity na makipag-network and makipag-mingle again to feel like we're part of a family to celebrate. And at that time kasi expected namin 250 pero more than 400 yung dumating.
Wow.
So, wala nga kaming enough food. Pero ang saya pa rin ng mga tao, makikita mo yung bonding nila. And very multicultural din sila na they really connect, they feel like they're a family. Masayang makita yon, yung mga simpleng opportunities para sa atin, pero napakalaki para sa mga newcomers to feel at home.
Yeah, so you have that Christmas and you have the summer. Is there any other like outdoor or even a gathering na outside the Immigrant Centre Manitoba?
So within the Immigrant Center, maybe we need to do more of that kasi parang limited pa siya. So yung mga group work na meron kami, yung cooking classes, so medyo limited siya. So I think 8 to 12 participants. Yung mga webinars namin na hindi nakaka-access ng in-person, pwede sila mag-access. So via Zoom, pwede sila. Pero yan, siguro isa sa mga maganda pa na ma-enhance namin na more outdoor events, more happenings, more events within the Immigrant Center.
Wow. Well, it's gonna happen, I'm sure. Like, we love to party.
Ay, that's what I miss.
Filipino,
Yun
we
pala
love to
yung
party.
dapat sagot ko kanina. Yun yung mga outdoor. Kasi wala akong friends. Wala akong friends when I came. So, mga friends ko talagang Olive Garden lang, mga ka-work ko, yung mga klase ko sa Red River. Yun pala yung na-miss ko, yung mga ganyang outdoor. Noted. Alam ko na.
Magkakaroon na tayo ng
Ayan na,
marami.
future project. Okay,
Ayun,
next
no?
project. Ayan na.
Yes.
So, with your, with your experience now, you're working in, Immigrant Centre Manitoba. Can you say, like, what can you advise for those who are coming here or thinking of moving here in Canada?
For me, just don't be afraid to ask. Kasi those are the things na talagang malalaman mo na kung ano pala yung mga kailangan mo. Or yung mga akala mo hindi mo kailangan, tapos biglang na lang magpa-pop up. Like Manitoba Health, your mga notarizing documents, and everything. Or mga settlement services, kagaya ng pag-application ng mga PGWP like myself. So, malaking tulong na meron kang alam. Try to research kung ano yung mga services talaga na pwede sa Winnipeg or sa Manitoba na applicable for you and your family. Kasi nung pong dumating ako, talagang I try to check kung ano yung mga magagawa, ano ba yung mga dapat gawin ko first, like get a phone. Like yung mga
Basic, diba?
SIN, yung mga ganun po na very thankful ako dahil meron nga po akong kapatid na may family ako na to help. Hindi ko ma-imagine kung halimbawa blindly Immigrant Center. So like saan? Pero but it really helps kasi meron kaming mga clients talaga na hindi nila alam kung saan pupunta. They don't know where's the library, where's Manitoba Health, or where's the nearest
And even
computer
how,
shop or something.
the big how. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the bus, oh my God, that's, I think the most confusing when I landed here. How to take the bus?
How to take the bus, yes,
How to even
exactly.
read or navigate the website, the transit, right? Anong code, anong number, ano ba
Right.
yun? Right? Very basic, but yeah, very helpful. And those are all services that they can really access easily at Immigrant Centre Manitoba. And you also do Zoom, right? If somebody are not comfortable going or not have the access to go to Immigrant Centre Manitoba, you do also that?
Yes, yeah. Especially nung nag-pandemic, nakita namin yung use ng Zoom. So mostly, employment department namin, yung webinars namin every Wednesday is Zoom. Pero if we have clients na kailangan talaga, we can provide that for accessibility.
Right. And take advantage of all the, like, yung mga advice ko sa mga darating dito, like, take advantage of every online or yung mga webinars, yung mga classes, lahat, everything is useful. Kasi they have like mental health, mga abuse, or parang how to conquer sadness. Kasi syempre you're in a foreign country, talagang mag-isa ka or something. Just accept everything.
Yes.
So, talking about the sadness, no, with your work as the director, how important is mental health when you move in Manitoba?
Yes, very important siya, especially sa ating mga newcomers or mga nanggaling from other countries na we don't talk about mental health or stress back home. But then when we come in here, the culture shock will kick in, the cultural adaptation process will kick in, and that will affect our mental health.
Yeah.
And mental health is part of our physical health, spiritual health, and other parts of our health. So if hindi maayos yung mental health natin, we won't be able to function and to adapt and really integrate dito. So, napakahalaga na nagbibigay kami ng orientation about stress, about mental health, where to go for support, and it's okay, it's normal to be sad for now, it's okay to ask for support because tayo sa bansa natin, nahihiya tayo na una may stigma about mental health, nahihiya tayong mag-ask ng support ng services from agencies, from government agencies kasi hindi siya natural sa atin.
Parang last resort na siya.
Yes. Pero dito it's encouraged and those are all funded para sa mga newcomers na i-access para matulungan ka na sa simula pa lang ma-manage mo na yung emotion mo bago pa siya lumala pa. Kasi kapag kalmado ka, maayos ka, hindi ka stressed, alam mong i-manage yung mental health mo, mas maayos yung pag-usad ng
Yeah.
integration mo dito sa bago mong bahay, sa bago mong home.
Yeah,
dito
so
sa
I think it's
Canada.
very in alignment with your services. Kasi, that's all part of a person, right? And yeah, it all falls to your capability, physical capability to adapt, to process all this information. Siyempre, if you're not mentally fit or at least stable, for you to process all this information that you're getting from different sectors is useless, right?
Yes, no
But
focus.
for you guys to identify na, oh wait, I think this person, this is what she needs first. Kasi everything we bigay natin sa kanya will be useless until she process her feelings first.
Yes.
So for you guys to identify that first, that's really good. I mean, part yun pala ng Immigrant Centers.
Yes, yeah. Very
So,
important.
yeah, and as our closing, so Roselyn, is there any messages you want? Like for those people that are still hesitant or for their families that's here or they have families coming over, immigrating here. So what would be your message to them?
For them. For example, and they need an example, yeah. First, welcome to Canada, welcome to Winnipeg, and we have Immigrant Centre services that can help you. And bilang newcomer, I know in the beginning it's scary because we don't know what will happen. It's okay to be scared in the beginning. That's a normal emotion, feeling ng isang newcomer. But after that, pause, breathe, and start exploring, looking at the options out there because there's so much help na fina-fund ng government and also the community para sa mga newcomers para matulungan tayong mag-integrate. And also always have that positivity because that's very important and hope too. Sometimes things will be challenging. Yes, we won't say that it's not. But if you have that hope and positivity, you'll be able to go through that smoothly and easily as well. And never give up, never quit, pause, breathe, think, and life will be better.
Paano ako nakikipag-usap sa psychologist?
Yes, tama po.
Alam, nagte-therapy ako.
Pag po talaga pupunta ka sa office ni Miss Rose, kailangan gusto mo lang ng pick up time. Ay, punta ka sa office ni Miss Rose. Ay, Miss Rose, kamusta naman kayo? Yeah, walang negative words with Miss Rose.
Parang na-therapy na rin ako sa interview na to. But thank you so much, Roselyn. And thank you, Gennica. That hopefully, and where they could contact Immigrant Center.
Yes, tawag lang po kayo sa 204-943-9969 and sasagutin po kayo nila Gennica and all her front
Sasagot
desk.
sa inyo, Immigrant Center, how can I help you? Just, basta, don't feel judged. Dito sa Canada, yun po yung napansin ko, they don't judge you for whatever situation that you have. If we're trying to ask you questions, it's because we're trying to help you. So that we can refer you to the right agency and the right path.
Yes, tama. Very good.
I like
Yes.
that word. So they're not judging.
Yes.
If they ask you question, because sometimes when people ask you so much question, ano ba ito?
I know, yes, as a front desk, it's very difficult for me to pag tinarayan na ako, my instinct is to taray back. But of course, I am a part of Immigrant Center. So I know I'm asking these questions to help you because I don't know how to address. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Again, maraming salamat, Roselyn and Gennica Luce, for joining us today. So growing through immigration is essential to meeting Manitoba's long-term demographic and labor needs, as well as strengthening our rich and diverse communities. But in turn, building on our diversity broadens opportunities for continued economic growth, making Manitoba an active and vibrant participant in the global economy. I am your host for today, Lourdes Pederes of Mabuhay TV and Multicultural Channel, celebrating the true Filipino spirit. Maraming salamat!